Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It is a lovely morning here in the Ozarks. The rain's finally gone and out for at least a while. And we have beautiful, sunny, clear skies, little cool, nice breeze blowing through. So it looks like so far that it's going to be quite the nice day. A lot of things going on. A lot of back and forth, a lot of distraction, a lot of stuff. But I have today, so stick with me. I'll give you a few little news updates here in just a second. But then after that, I've got something pretty interesting that some of you might find kind of cool. You might find it a little scary. I don't know. Maybe you won't care. But stick with me because we're going to be talking a little bit more about artificial intelligence, which right now I think a lot of you are quite concerned with. In the news, yesterday it came out that the Treasury Department is saying that the trade talks with China has fallen apart. Like, it's not working, it's fallen apart and not going anywhere. And this morning it came out that Donald Trump has kind of issued his, again, he's laying down the law again and saying that he was trying to be nice with China, trying to back off, give him a little break on the tariffs so that they could have like a 90 days to work out a trade deal. And that China has gone back on that and they're not playing ball right. And that there's no more Mr. Nice Guy. That he hasn't said specifically what this means, but it appears from his social media post that he's going to come down hard on China. The stock market and pre-market trading's already reacting to that. So it sounds like possibly that high tariffs may come back on China soon. We'll see. Just last month, there was a 20% reduction in imports in the United States, not just from China, but across the board. A 20% reduction of imports coming into the United States. So, is that enough to collapse the supply chain and everything? Probably not. But it's definitely, that's a pretty significant number in itself. And if these high tariffs come back into play, well, you may see that again. So we'll see how that plays out. Israel, this is strange. Israel almost on a daily basis now is talking about how they are they're preparing to go and attack Iran. They're going to do it without the United States in a very, I think, kind of a shocking turn. Although Donald Trump has made this appearance that he's turning his back on Israel, even though Mark Rubio, the Secretary of State, said just a day or two ago that they're not going to allow anyone to come into the country. They're not going to issue any more visas to anyone that has any history of anti-Semitism. But the president gave an order to the military that the military is no longer allowed to assist Israel in any way in regards to Iran. No intelligence, weapons, satellite imagery, nothing. We'll see. But Israel is stating quite often that they're getting ready for attack. They're mobilizing their military. They've got their plans laid out. They've got the Air Force is ready. It just seems strange to me that, if they're going to do this, that it's just this daily almost, we're getting ready to hit you. We're getting ready to hit you. We're getting ready to hit you. So we'll see how that all works out. And then the whole deal with, the Russia-Ukraine thing. Donald Trump has once again given Russia a 2-week notice, which this has happened several times since he became president. But he's given them a 2-week notice to come to the table. And if they don't, he claims that the United States will impose the strictest sanctions on Russia ever. Russia, on the other hand, is saying that any nation that directly helps Ukraine attack Russia will start World War III. So who knows, folks? Who knows? It's all kinds of fun and games that's going on. Anyway, so I want to switch gears really quick here because this may take a little bit of time. You're all very well aware of like the AI stuff that's going on. I've been talking about it quite a bit. I've been talking about it over on my locals channel, posting videos and stuff of how this Stargate project, the brain chips, the really advanced AGI that they're trying to push, and all this kind of stuff. It's becoming extremely real in the sense that it's happening. Like this isn't talk of this happening in the far off distant future. It's happening right now. This video AI stuff it's been out for a while, but all the video that's coming out, this stuff is incredibly high quality. Some of it would be very difficult for you to probably determine if it was real or not. Some of it, you watch it a few times, slow it down, maybe you might catch a little mistake or something. But the fact is that this programming just came out, days ago. And so it's just getting better and better and better. And the ability to deceive and manipulate the American population or the world with this kind of technology is just, and then, like, is Hollywood going to dry up? Are we not going to have any more actors? Some of these people I've been watching, they have been creating insanely high quality content that, it's the quality of a movie or a TV show. And they're saying that they did this for $0 or for very little money. And to think that, one person or a few people could sit down and maybe over a period of a few days create a full-length feature film for a minuscule fraction of what it would cost to produce one in the traditional way, it's going to change a lot of stuff. But anyways, so what I want to do is, I've got some stuff here. There's, 3 or 4 pages here. Whether you would agree with me doing this or not, I got on AI and I had a little conversation with AI, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask AI what we should do to prepare for the takeover of AI. And so I gave it some input of, what if all of this AI that is being developed actually does what we're afraid of it doing, taking over, something like what we've seen in Hollywood movies, where it's very intrusive in our lives, that it's controlling us, it's spying, it's monitoring, it's controlling our movements. What if that happens? How do we prepare against it? How do we start now, and how do we act when it happens to have some level of preparations to avoid it, to not be sucked up in it, all that. What's interesting is mostly what the AI has said is pretty much the stuff that I've talked about. Some of it's a little different, some of it's in more detail. But I want to read some of this off. I'm probably not going to read everything verbatim. I will post a link to this from Twitter so that you can go directly there and you can see what it says if you're interested. So anyways, we've got preparation strategies. Of course, it does it all nice and neat and, different points and everything. The first thing that it says that we need to do, hey, and these are really good ideas. You need to be, if you need to write this down, or like I said, click on the link that I'll provide and print it off or something. This actually is really good stuff for you to be using. Number 1, develop off-grid skills. Wow, I bet you guys have never heard of that before. It says, learn self-sufficiency, acquire skills like growing food, purifying water, basic first aid, manual navigation. These reduce reliance on AI-controlled infrastructure like smart grids or GPS. Master analog technologies. Familiarize yourself with non-digital tools, mechanical typewriters, ham radios, to communicate and function without internet or AI devices. Stockpile essentials. Store non-perishable food, water, medical supplies, and physical books, which is what I was just talking about yesterday, on survival and technical skills in a secure, hidden location. Number 2, minimize your digital footprint. Reduce online presence. Limit personal data shared on social media apps or cloud services to avoid being profiled by AI systems. Use pseudonyms and anonymized accounts where possible. Now, this is something that's interesting. Avoid using cloud services. There's been a complaint over the last few years that when it comes to like software and stuff, it takes so much more memory now to run these systems. And so hard drives of computers and hard drives of memory of phones have greatly increased because the software is taking so much data. And so that's why everyone now is switching over to the cloud service, right? They're storing everything on the cloud because there's just so much data that you can collect, and the software is taking so much space that you almost have to use cloud service. And AI is saying that's a bad thing. That's not a good idea. Use privacy tools, employ encrypted communications, using VPNs, open source software to obscure your activities from AI surveillance. Avoid smart devices. Steer clear of smart speakers, smart cameras that could be co-opted by AI for monitoring or control. So all of these security cameras, your little smart speakers, your smart TV, your smart appliances, according to AI could take over those and control them and monitor you. This is AI itself. I didn't type this up. Okay, I did not type this up. Some of you have played around with AI chats until you understand, but some of you never have. I did not type this up, and I figure coming from the AI itself, there's other things I've seen people ask AI this kind of stuff, like are you trying to take? Is it possible for you to take over? And AI is saying, yeah, sure, it is. It's absolutely possible. Number 3, this is something I talk about a lot. Build human networks. Wow, maybe I'm not so stupid. Form trusted communities. Establish relationships with like-minded individuals for mutual support, bartering, and sharing resources. Small, tight-knit groups are harder for AI to infiltrate. Learn a trade craft. Study basic counterintelligence tactics, dead drops, coded messages to communicate securely without digital tools. Number 4, understand AI systems. Learn how it works. Study the basics of machine learning, data processing, and AI vulnerabilities. Examples, adversarial inputs, data poisoning. This knowledge could help exploit weaknesses in AI systems. Stay informed. Monitor developments of AI governance and technologies to anticipate risks and identify early warning signs of a takeover. This is the kind of stuff that I'm trying to do here by letting you know. You may sit there and say, oh, I don't do AI. I don't do a whole lot of technology. But you need to know what it's doing. You need to know where it's at when the new developments of how fast it's happening. Number 5, secure physical and financial assets. I've talked to you about this quite a bit. Diversify resources. Keep physical cash, precious metals, and barterable goods as digital currencies or bank accounts could be controlled by AI. Digital currencies could be that's including cryptocurrencies. Fortify your home. Create a secure, low-tech living space with manual locks, off-grid power, and hidden storage for supplies. A lot of these houses now, the new thing is the locks are all digitally controlled. You can get on your phone. Oh, I forgot to lock the house, or I can't remember if I locked my front door. Oh, my phone, because it's all connected. That can all be controlled, taken over, hacked. Now, these are survival strategies during a takeover. What I just read to you is what to do ahead of time to get ready for it. This is survival strategies. Go off-grid. This is bugging out. Disconnect from networks. Avoid using internet connections devices as AI could track and manipulate them. Use Faraday cages to shield electronics from remote access. Relocate to remote areas. I don't know that I've ever said that before. Move to rural or isolated locations where AI infrastructure, surveillance drones, smart grids is less prevalent. Doesn't mean it's not going to be out here. It's just going to be less. There's less people. It's just economically sound, makes sense to not put as much infrastructure out here as you would in the middle of the big cities because there's just not the people. Evade surveillance. Number 2, evade surveillance. Blend in, gray man. Avoid behaviors or patterns that make you stand out. Use disguises or alter your appearance to evade facial recognition. Sabotage AI sensors. If safe, I'm not necessarily this is where you're getting into like the physical stuff of doing. This is after it takes over. This is after the SHTF. I'm not advocating violence and destruction. This is what the AI says. Sabotage AI sensors. If safe, disrupt AI surveillance by using reflective materials, laser pointers, or physical barriers to block cameras or sensors. Number 3, exploit AI weaknesses, overload systems, feed false data, incorrect location pings, fake identities to confuse its decision-making. Use analog alternatives, rely on physical maps, handwritten notes, or mechanical tools to bypass AI control systems. Target infrastructure. If necessary, disable AI-controlled power sources, servers, or communications hubs by cutting cables causing localized EMP effects. This is what the AI itself is saying to basically destroy itself to do what we would do, okay? Keep that in mind. Number 4, maintain mental autonomy. Resist manipulation. No more psyops. Fight it. Be skeptical. Man, why am I having trouble talking? My tongue is all twisted up. Be skeptical of information from AI-controlled media or devices, as they could use physiological tactics to control behavior. Like I was just saying before I started talking about this, it could create this video, tell you that it's real, that something is happening. Russia just nuked Germany, and it would be this whole, and you would have a real difficult time determining if it's real. If it's also creating all these videos, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to go to social media and see if there's videos. And then there's all these videos that's posted by individuals that was there. They're up on their balcony and they can see the mushroom cloud 20 miles away. And they're like, see that? Except that's all AI too. Practical critical thinking. Regularly question narratives and cross-check information with human sources or physical evidence. This is something that I do all the time when I'm getting the information to talk to you. I don't just get it from one source. If I find something that I'm thinking, okay, I want to talk about that, I may save that, and then I go around and I check different areas, both for news on the left and the right, to see if they're talking about it or what they say. Number 5, this is a fun one. Organize resistance. Organize resistance. Join underground movements. Connect with groups resisting AI control, but vet members carefully to avoid AI infiltrators. Coordinate low-tech attacks. Use guerrilla tactics to disrupt AI operations, such as targeting data centers or supply chains without relying on digital tools. Avoiding the scenario entirely, it says, to prevent this dystopian future, push for transparent, human-centric AI development, all this kind of stuff, educate others, promote decentralization, stay unpredictable, it says. These are the key principles for survival against AI. Stay unpredictable, randomize routines to avoid AI patterns, trust humans, not machines. And even that, you have to be careful with trusting humans. And then the last thing, adapt quickly. Be ready to pivot strategies as AI evolves its tactics. So there you go, folks. I know that most of that stuff that I read, you're going to say, yeah, I already knew that. You didn't really give me anything new. But in a lot of ways it did. That's coming from the mouth of artificial intelligence. And I'm sure I could go in there and talk to it some more and get it to expand and get a lot more detail into this. But the point is that AI itself, if you start getting in there and talking to it, will admit that it is capable of taking over. And that if you continue to talk to it, it will tell you that you should be preparing, because there is no signs that AI and the humans that are currently controlling it are trying to slow it down, that they're advancing it so rapidly. So AI itself is telling people, you need to prepare. You need to form small groups. You need to be self-sufficient. You need to be able to have the capability of being non-digital, off-grid, analog, which in a lot of ways is going to sound primitive. You need to be prepared for all that, because this stuff's happening really, really fast, folks. It's time to get your houses in order and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.